live. Welcome again to English for IT professionals. Sorry, I almost forgot my channel name. My name is Terry. I'm an English teacher from Ireland, and this is my live stream in 2024 of English for IT professionals. The lesson today is about a very, very special verb in English called get. And I want to show you 3 get expressions that I hear and see in my IT research all the time. Now, what do I mean is that in 2024, I am going to create a Udemy course, an online video course called English for Software Engineers. And I'm constantly watching YouTube, studying courses on Udemy and doing everything. And I'm here to collect some of my research in this channel. And I want to show you 3 expressions with get. Okay, so let's see if my slides will work for me. Let's see. They do seem to be kind of working here. All right, that's just my color code. All right, let's check the sound. Do seem to be kind of working here. Oh, it's okay. All right, so let's get started. We have 3 get expressions for IT. These are 3 expressions I see and hear all the time in my research. Okay, so we have 3 expressions. To get something done is the first expression. To get something to work or get something working, and to get the hang of something. At the end of this class, you will understand and be ready to use these 3 expressions in IT. So get expression number 1 for IT, to get something done. Okay, now this is another way of saying to finish something, is to finish a task or to achieve a result. But as you know, if you work in the software industry, there's a lot of about when you are going to finish something. How much time do you have, right? And there's sometimes things are a little bit urgent. So for example, we can say to get something done, but you can change the verb at the end, right? So for example, imagine you are working on a user interface update. And you can use this expression here of we need to get the user interface update done. We need to get the user interface update finished. So careful with the pronunciation, it's with a T sound, finished. We need to get the user interface update completed, or we need to get the user interface update ready. You can change the word at the end, but again, the idea of get here is something about that it's a little bit urgent or important or necessary to finish it soon. So this is where we see this word here, by. Now, if you know the word deadline, deadline is the date or the time you need to finish and you need to deliver or you need to give something. So people give you a deadline, you have 1 week to finish. And to say like to get something done by and then the time, it's the idea, this is the deadline. I am going to get the user interface done by tomorrow. It means maybe before, but not after. This is the deadline. By is the idea of a deadline. So this is where we have by this afternoon, by tomorrow, by the end of this week, by the end of the sprint. This means when you say by, the deadline is this time. So by this afternoon, the deadline is this afternoon. This is where we see expressions. So to get something done, so debugging existing code. So for example here, I can get the debugging of the payment module done by this afternoon. So it means that the debugging is a little bit important, a little bit urgent, and the deadline is this afternoon. I will get the unit tests for the new search functionality finished by tomorrow. Okay. Another example is implementing a new authentication module for user security. I will, contraction to I'll get the new authentication module implementation done by the end of the week. Okay. 1 or 2 more examples. I can get the code review for the latest feature completed by tomorrow morning. Okay, I think maybe we have one final example is we will or we'll get the integration of the third-party payment API finished by next Monday. Okay. Now, I have some easy to use phrases if you're starting to use this expression in your conversations in your Scrum team. For example, I can get the specific task done by the end of the sprint. So can you comment or can you start to substitute here, see specific task, and you can start to use this phrase now in your conversations. Or we need to get the, and the project component completed before the release. Again, try to comment on this video and just try to substitute, try to finish the sentence yourself. Our goal is to get the feature or issue finished by tomorrow. Okay. All right. Do try to comment your answer with get done. What's an example of something you need to get done in your work or your sprint goal right now? Okay. So I'll just take a little 10-second break here. If you're watching this on the replay, please comment, say hello. Please subscribe. Please click like if you're enjoying this video. It's a lot of fun to do it live, but please support the channel. And also, if you have a suggestion for different videos, I'm very, very open to new suggestions. Next week will be English for Scrum Masters, five expressions for Scrum Masters, but I think it will be useful sort of for everybody. Okay, get expression number 2 for IT. Oh, sorry. Get expression for IT number 2. To get something to work or to get something working. Now, they are exactly the same. To get something to work and to get something working. The meaning is identical. It's exactly the same. It's not different. So the idea is to make something operational or functional. If you are trying to get something working, it means you are trying and making an effort. And then after the tool, the functionality or something is actually working and functional. Now, you can say to get something working, which is more informal, more conversational as compared to say to get something to work. So they mean exactly the same, but I would say to get something working is a little bit more common than to get something to work, but they're exactly the same. So for example, here, if we have an example phrase, I'm trying to get the encryption protocols working, that's okay. Get the encryption protocols to work, that's okay. Less common than working. But here, I'm trying to get the encryption protocols work. That's not correct. And trying to get the encryption protocols to working, also not correct. So just a little note on the grammar here about gerunds and infinitives, okay? So these are some examples of things that you need to get working. The real-time data synchronization feature, automated testing framework, cloud storage integration, encryption protocol, user authentication flow. I'm sure you guys have a lot more examples of things that you need to get working, right? So some examples here. I'm working on getting the real-time data synchronization feature to work properly in our mobile application. So I just want to repeat again, we can say I'm working on getting the real-time data synchronization feature working. No difference in meaning, but it's not correct to say I'm working on getting the real-time data synchronization feature work. Just work alone is not correct. We managed to get the automated testing framework working smoothly for the backend services. So let's look a little bit at the vocabulary in this. So manage in the present means you can do something, or you can understand, or you are able, you achieve, you do the thing. So the past tense is we managed. So present is manage, managed. It's a strange jid, right? We managed to get the automated testing framework working smoothly. So smoothly, properly, correctly, they're similar words to show like that something is working really, really well. But like smooth is like soft or smooth. Like this is not smooth. It's the opposite, it's rough. So something working smoothly is working very well. Can anyone help get the cloud storage integration working for our document management system? So again, we see this a lot with questions, especially in Teams. If you're asking for help, can anyone help get, right? Is that can anyone? Next example, sorry. I'm focusing on getting the encryption protocols to work correctly. So we could say correctly or properly, right? And again, you can change the second part. I'm focusing on getting the encryption protocols working correctly. All right. Next example, we need to get the user authentication flow working seamlessly to improve user experience and security. So to get the user authentication flow working seamlessly, right? So these are some of the words that you can use to get it working properly. Is almost the same as correctly, really. Smoothly and seamlessly are extremely similar. It just means that it works really well, no bugs, no integration problems, etc. Okay, and some ready to use phrases for your sentences in your Scrum teams. So I'm working on getting the software or hardware to work properly, where you take this phrase and you write a comment where you substitute software or hardware here and you create your own sentence. So the objective with these ready to use phrases, I don't know if they're useful. It's just to try to get you to write a little bit, to practice it. We managed, so again, the pronunciation of managed, to get the feature or system working smoothly. Okay. Can anyone help get the tool or application working? Again, another really useful phrase just to ask for help, especially in your Scrum team, or you're at your software development team, right? Ooh, okay, I'll just take a small break for a second. It's a lot of fun doing these lives. I hope somebody actually watches them. Okay, get expression for IT number 3. To get the hang of something. To get the hang of something, okay? This means to become familiar with or improve your skills gradually, okay? So you start doing something, you start working at a new company, right? And you need to get the hang of testing tools. Now, to get the hang of testing tools, to get the hang of non-relational databases or whatever, it's the idea that with time, you work and you're improving gradually with time. It's like the before and the after, where you start the first week in a company, you don't know the tools, you don't know the tech stack, and then 3 months later, you get the hang of all the tools, right? So as you know, in a new job or in the onboarding period, in the first month, you're always just getting the hang of things. You're just learning and improving gradually, okay? So the verb to hang literally is about like a clothes hanger, where this object here is a clothes hanger, and the verb is actually to like hang something. It's when you hang up your clothes and you just leave it. So that's the origin of the word. Now, the pronunciation here is the H has an exhalation, right? Hang. So when you pronounce the H, just a small mini second of exhalation. Hang. Okay, like a long sound. So we can say to get the hang of it. Now, it is a pronoun. It's something you use just to avoid repeating something. You can also say to get the hang of something. Now, the next part is important because if you have a verb after, because you can say to get the hang of, and then, I don't know, maybe it's a framework or a testing tool or a new database framework or whatever, right? Like, let's take, for example, React Native. To get the hang of React, to get the hang of working with React. because you can put a noun, but when you put a verb, you'll see here to get the hang of doing. So if the phrase is to get the hang of working with React Native, or maybe it's Node.js or whatever, right? That you need to say, I'm getting the hang of working with React Native. If you can see here, to get the hang of do is incorrect. And then to get the hang of doing something is also incorrect, okay? So examples of things you need to get the hang of working in software engineering. As somebody who doesn't work in software engineering, I'm just a teacher, but I'm trying to help you guys, all right? So version control systems, you need to get the hang of programming languages and frameworks. One really interesting verb in English is pivot, P-I-V-O-T, where it talks about how a lot of software engineers need to pivot where you start a new job and you start a completely new programming language and framework, and you need to quickly get the hang of a new framework, right? Get the hang of debugging, troubleshooting, CI/CD pipelines, cloud services, and platforms. So let's see some examples. Version control systems. In our last retrospective, I mentioned it took me a while to get the hang of Git. Okay, that's a very interesting sentence because you have this sentence here. It took, so took is the past of take, and then you need to add the it, as in the process, the situation. It took me a while to get the hang of. And that's a really useful sentence you can use. You could use it a lot. You know, it took me a while to get the hang of, right? Programming language and frameworks. During the planning meeting, I suggested to the team that to get the hang of the new framework, we could pair program the initial module setup. Okay. I shared in the daily stand-up that getting the hang of our debugging tools has made identifying and resolving issues much faster for me, right? Continuous CI/CD pipelines. In our sprint review, I'll demonstrate how I finally got the hang of setting up our CI/CD pipeline. So let's look at two things here. First, got is the past of get. I got the hang of, okay? Now, the next verb, to set up a CI/CD pipeline. So set up is a phrasal verb that really means to create or to like initiate or to start. But in this grammar here, got the hang of setting up. It must be with ing after the preposition of, right? Setting up our CI/CD pipeline. I mentioned during our backlog grooming session that once you get the hang of deploying to AWS, managing our environments becomes incredibly straightforward and efficient. So again, once you get the hang of deploying to AWS. Okay, some ready-to-use phrases are I'm starting to get the hang of a specific technology or a process. Now, what's curious is if you are watching this live, you can see in the corner of the corner, whatever, StreamYard. Now, actually, I want to change. I want to change to a software called OBS to do the live streaming. But this week, I am still getting the hang of working with OBS. So I think this week and next week, because I already have the hang of working with StreamYard, I know the idea, but OBS is a little bit more difficult. So I'm working to get the hang of it, right? Now, I really like the sentence again. It took me a while, but I've got the hang of and the skill or the tool now. You guys can comment and leave your answers to this one. I'm focusing on getting the hang of and the new software technique this week. So I have my example that I'm focusing on getting the hang of OBS, which is a streaming software. It's a lot more complicated, but the reason why is I'm streaming now in 720p when I would like to stream in 1080p, but StreamYard is not free. So I'm trying to get the hang of streaming live. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, click like, and tell a friend about this channel, because it's not so easy to grow on YouTube, and I'm looking to connect with IT professionals. If you have a friend who's learning English, please connect and share this channel with them. Please, I'm going to add the links to the description of this video. Please follow me on X or Twitter. Currently, Elon Musk doesn't think I'm human. They think my X account is a bot account. I'm not allowed to post all my videos there. Please follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn as well, if you can follow me or maybe comment on a post, because I can't go live until I have minimum 1,000 followers and I have to apply. So if you can help me, that'd be great. As always, you can find me and my courses on udemy.com, Udemy and Udemy for Business. This year in 2024, I'm very excited because I'm going to create a new course called English for Software Engineers. And I'm actually looking for research participants, people who would be interested in reading some of my materials or maybe taking a free class with me just as part of my research. Anyway, okay, my voice is a little bit tired now. So that's the end of the presentation. I hope you guys really liked it. Again, click like and subscribe. If you have a suggestion for a video, please comment down below. Okay, that's it for me. I will see you next week or next Thursday, when I'll be back with a class on English for Scrum Masters. Thank you, guys.